Hey guys, what's up? This is Jade, and thank you for joining me over here on YouTube for another This Week in Anime. So, as you guys know, I've been working really hard on my book. I'm very excited that I'm going to have a digital version ready in time for MomoCon. I won't have a hard print copy, but I'm going to do a special announcement regarding how I'm going to handle hard print copies for Game Over going forward. So, please be patient with me on that. Today, I want to talk a little bit about how to know if a convention is a scam. Like, what are the telltale signs of it? And the reason this has come to my mind is because of something called the Fyre Festival. Now, if you've been watching my retweets on Twitter, you've seen that I've just been absolutely obsessed with this horrible event that has basically left a lot of people who paid a lot of money to attend a music and entertainment festival stranded in the Bahamas with basically no food, no sewage, apparently, like no infrastructure, no anything. There is nothing on this island. These people are stuck in this island. It's like something out of Lord of the Flies. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it all boils down to the event coordinators not having a clue what they are doing and not surrounding themselves with people who actually did know what they were doing. And then when they did have people who knew what they were doing, they didn't listen to them. So, this is a really big event. People were paying several thousands of dollars in order to participate in this event. And it got me to thinking about a lot of the conventions that I've done over the years. And unfortunately, there are many of them that suffered from the same thing. I mean, at least they happened. Some of them happened, and some of them didn't. So, I wanted to kind of think, I spent a little bit of the day while I was drawing Game Over thinking quite a bit about what did all of these events have in common, and how can you tell which events are worth it and which events aren't worth it, and which ones might actually take you for your money. So, in doing that, while I was drawing, fun, I got to, and stalking Fyre Fest, I got to thinking about some of the common denominators. One of them is having a nice website. If someone wants your money and they're going to, market to you, they want to make sure that they have a good website and a good web presence. It also helps them secure the name of their event. So, for example, if you're looking to attend a convention, and you don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of money, you want to make sure that you're picking out an event that you're going to really enjoy, something that you're going to be passionate about, something where passion is put into the event, and that you're going to have a good experience, or at least that the event itself is trying to give you a good experience and, contribute to a positive weekend for you, right? One of the things you want to look for is a website. If they don't have a website, if they don't have the domain name at least secured, there's an issue. Because one, they're not taking their brand seriously enough to put themselves up in a place where Google is going to find them and other people are going to be able to find their event. A website is basically essential to running at conventions. So if you see a convention posted on Facebook, or you see one of them tweeting out and they have some A-list guests, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is in my local town. It's in Jacksonville, or maybe St. Augustine, or Orlando, it's close by, and you think the price is pretty reasonable. You go and Google them. See if their website comes up. Don't just click whatever link they give you, because it might just take you to a Facebook page. It might take you to some other social media site. It might take you to a personal blog. Go to Google and Google them. See if they come up. That's my advice to you. Make sure they have a website. That's number one. Number two, make sure they are active on social media. One of the best ways that conventions can reach their target audience is by marketing to you on social media. Now, social media can sometimes be a bit garbage when it comes to letting people know that you have information out there. Facebook specifically has logarithms that prevent you from seeing stuff that you've even indicated to them that you want to see. Like, for example, if you go and like a convention's webpage, or if you like their Facebook page, you're not necessarily going to see their updates. You actually have to go and tell Facebook that you want to see their updates first on your newsfeed. Kind of crummy. You can also set up notifications for it. And if there's a convention you really want to do, I highly suggest setting up notifications for it, at least for that year, so that you get all the notifications, when their schedule goes live, whenever they're updating stuff, if a guest cancels, that kind of thing. Highly recommend doing that. But if they're not active on social media, and they're not, posting things that kind of resonate with you, probably not worth your time. Odds are they're not actually marketing to their target demographic. Now, that being said, I've done some good shows that have lackluster social media presence, but a lot of those shows have been around for before social media got to be a really big thing. So a lot of their target demographic is actually a lot older. So if you're over the age of 40, you know, a lot of the events that were happening back then when you were in your 20s or 30s are still going to be around, and they can still get by without using social media because their word of mouth presence is still really good. But if it's a new event, if it's an event that's come up in the past 5 or 6 years, and they're not posting on their social media pages, and they have like only 100 and something likes, odds are these are going to send up some red flags with you because you're like, oh, this convention doesn't really seem to be that popular. Now, if the convention is like 3 years away and they just started promoting and they have 100 likes, that's a lot different than the event being like, you know, 2 days away and they have 100 and something likes. So take that strongly into consideration when you go to book an event, and hopefully that will keep you from getting, you know, scammed. Again, like I said, this isn't like a 100% thing, but it will help you weed out the ones that might be bigger or smaller and get a little bit more bang for your buck. So my other recommendation to you is find out who's promoting it. And this can be a little tough. Now, there's a lot of promoters who are very active and you know exactly who they are. They will share things on their personal page. They will post on their convention website. They will hold meetings where you can actually interact with them if you live locally. There are some promoters who are really involved in their con. They're very passionate about it. They're not afraid to put their name on their convention because they're proud of the work that they do. They are proud of their event, and they want you to know that they are there. They want to put their face on the convention and say, hey, look, I'm a real person. I'm here, I'm running it, and, you know, I'm not that different from you. I'm a huge fan, just like you are. Other times, promoters are going to be a little bit more shy, but sometimes we get lucky, and we happen to come across an event where the promoter is really out there. He or she will want to be, you know, very directly involved in their con. They will want people to know that they are involved. And sometimes those promoters tend to put their feet in their mouths, and you can catch them using social media. So if you have the chance, if you happen to find out who is running an event, and you have the opportunity to send them a friend request on Facebook or follow their Twitter, a lot of times you can see a lot of their mental state and the inner workings of their mind to see if this is an event that you actually want to support. So that being said, I highly recommend poking around on a Facebook page, poke around on a Twitter, see who's retweeting the absolute most. It's probably the main promoter, or it's someone who's close to him or her. If you find that there are a lot of events that are linked to this particular promoter or group of promoters that have failed or have been catastrophic, you might want to cross that event off of your list. I say that because time and time again, I have seen a lot of conventions come and go, especially here in Northeast Florida, where there are 1, 2, 3 promoters specifically involved in cons. I'm not going to name names, because it's not how I roll, but they have been involved in the same cons that have had either lackluster performances, guests not appearing, money not paid out to costume and cosplay winners, a lot of people were not issued refunds, and it's slathered all over those Facebook posts. It is slathered all over the pages. It is slathered all over the promoters' pages even. Even when they tried to delete all of it, it would just come back. It's in the reviews on those conventions. And while you may not like attending some cons, you know, I personally don't particularly care for collective cons, so I don't participate, at least they aren't scamming people. So if you want to attend Collective Con, at least you know it's a legit event that's going to happen. Whereas some of the other conventions, you know, you might want to Google it, you might want to look, you know. I won't really participate in Wasabi Con, but at least you know the event is happening. At least you know Wasabi Anime exists. At least you know that they usually have all of their guests show up. They have a track record. They've been around for a while. Ancient City Con, it's really sad to see them go, but at least you knew when they said there was going to be an event, there was an event, right? That's all you ask for, right? They paid out their prize money. You don't see stuff like, I didn't get my prize money, I didn't get a refund, you know, or, you know, I'm at the event, where are you guys at? Or, hey, our event is coming soon, you know, look for us. Oh, we're moving to Orlando, but that's okay, guys, we'll be happening soon. And then you schedule a date, and then you don't really see, you know, anything about it, but it's okay, because it's coming soon, right? You don't see that stuff on their pages. And you don't see that kind of, you know, you don't see people talking back to them saying, well, when is it going to happen? Or where is it going to happen? Or where's the website? Or anything like that. Good events, events that you should be attending, aren't going to have those questions all over their pages. So if you see stuff like that going down, you're seeing that because that's the tip of the iceberg. You're seeing something coming from the passionate people who felt like they were invested in that con in some way, vocalizing their frustrations to the convention. And most of those people had tried in the past to probably get in touch via email, get in touch with somebody. Odds are they didn't just go straight to social media in order to vent their concerns. Now, that was quite some time ago, so maybe things have changed. But it's my advice to you, especially if you're in Florida, because we do have a track record down here. Please, 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 please research your conventions. If you go to animecons.com, if you go to conventionscene.com, and you don't see your event listed on either of those, be careful. If you look at the Facebook page, and there's not a whole lot of likes on it, and the convention is coming up, be careful. If they are offering things that sound way too good to be true, right? Like tons and tons of VIP badges and all of these special guest, appearances and stuff. And then you go on their website, looks a little shady. You know what I'm talking about. The ones that look like it's from like 1994, or maybe they don't even have a website. Maybe they have no likes on their Facebook page, right? And it just looks really strange. Don't go. Save yourself the time and the hassle. Also, another real telltale sign if they're worth their salt. Conventions that have been operated by people who know what they're doing will book their venue first. Period. If they are selling tickets and they don't have a venue, odds are they're not getting a venue. If they book their convention and they start, advertising it to you before they've actually booked with the hotel, they can't offer you a room block. You can't call the hotel and get a room block. So if you start getting red flags about well, where's this convention going to be held? Or maybe it's changed venues on their website a few times. Call. Call the hotel. See if it's actually there. Call the convention center. See if it's actually happening. Do your homework. Save yourself the time and the money. Especially here in the Southeast, where prices keep going up and up and up in order to participate in conventions. Whether you're an artist, whether you're a vendor, whether you're an attendee. Check your cons. Make sure that they're actually going to happen, especially if they're a new con, especially if they've only been around a couple of years, especially if they are kind of, hey, we're here, we're not here, we're here, we're not here. If they don't have a website, don't do it. You guys get the idea, right? Be very, very careful, because by the time you dump a lot of money into your badges, $35 to $55 for some of these cons, you go all the way to the city, you've spent gas money, food money, you probably got your cosplay all ready to go. The last thing you want to do is show up to this event and none of the promoters will be there. That has actually happened in Florida. Please, please guys, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If there's not a website, they aren't serious about holding the event. If they're trying to sell you tickets and all this other stuff and hotel room blocks and they can't even tell you specifically where the event's going to be held, they don't have a website posted, red flags, guys, red flags. Don't get caught by Fyre Festival. So, anyways, that's my little bit of insight into the world of anime conventions for this week. Didn't really talk too much about anime, but if you guys are interested in what's happening with anime, there's a whole lot of new simulcast dubs up on the Funimation website. Crunchyroll has a ton of simulcasts as well, and all of Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans is available over on Daisuki and Crunchyroll. I love both of those services, they're both amazing, and I highly recommend checking out Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Also, this summer, we're actually getting more Gundam. That's right, we're getting more Gundam. As in, a lot of the older Gundam titles were owned by Bandai. So, just to make sure that you guys get your actual This Week in Anime. For those of you who aren't familiar with what happened with Gundam and why you haven't been able to watch it in decades, it's because it used to be owned by Bandai Entertainment, which was releasing stuff over here in the United States. They also had titles like Code Geass, and I love Code Geass. Code Geass was amazing, but then Bandai basically pulled out of the US market without actually pulling out of the market. So they retained all the licenses to their show. Now, to their shows, plural. So, for series like Gundam Wing, Gundam 8th MS Team, Code Geass, all of these basically were being owned by Bandai, but nobody else could distribute them. So Bandai holds the license, they also hold the distribution rights. We weren't getting anything if they didn't plan to release it over here. Well, now, Right Stuff International and Nozomi Entertainment are actually distributing for Bandai here in the United States. What that means is this summer we're getting Gundam Wing, and that's awesome! I'm super stoked about it. So it's just a few months away. Gundam 8th MS Teen is actually getting a Blu-ray release here in a couple of weeks. Very stoked about that. If you like more guerrilla warfare style Gundam, that is definitely the one for you. You want to check that out. It's an amazing one. It is often overlooked for something like Gundam Seed Destiny, and Gundam Seed, which is basically what most Gundam fans seem to feel might be more like a Gundam Wing reboot. If you enjoyed Iron-Blooded Orphans, Gundam Wing is a little bit of a slower pace, more of a 90s kind of feel to it. I mean, come on, it was released in the 90s, it's gonna feel older. Highly recommend checking it out. I'm really looking forward to Right Stuff's release of it because Right Stuff offers great stuff at very low prices, and you know that they're going to put that on a huge holiday sale later this year. But if you want to pick it up and you want something good to watch over the summer while you're chilling waiting for school to start again, I highly recommend it. Now, if you don't want to drop a whole ton of money on the box set, it is available streaming on Crunchyroll, and I encourage you to check it out. You can pretty much marathon Gundam Wing in a weekend and then go pick up the Endless Waltz movie because you're going to want to see that. It is absolutely amazing. It's a pinnacle of 90s Gundam and mecha animation, so highly recommend it. Definitely worth it. For those of you who got to see Your Name in theaters, I am super jealous. I wanted to see it in HD and I wasn't able to do that, so I am totally bummed sitting here waiting for the Blu-ray release. So congrats to you guys. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to being able to watch it very soon. So thanks again, everybody. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. I appreciate you watching my video. Sorry that it was a little long. Sorry it was more of a foreboding convention thing. But I will see you guys later. And again, thank you very, very, very much. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye.